Hi, my name is Uli, and if you don't know me, I'm a year 12 student studying in the UK. I'm sure we have all been here. The Easter holidays are coming up. You're ready to catch up on all of the work and do all of the notes that you haven't done in the time that you had in school. So you decide that you're going to finish everything and everything is going to be amazing, but you end up doing all of the work in the last 3 days of school and barely managing to finish it, because that is so me. Since year 8, every single year, that was exactly my problem. That is exactly what I was doing. But these holidays, something clicked, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about how I managed to do all of the work that I have to do for holidays. There are a couple of rules that I try to follow. The first one is writing down all of the things that you have to do, and you have to be as detailed as possible with this, but also being realistic with the tasks. You need to create an exact list of the things that you have to do. For example, instead of just saying, I need to catch up on my bio notes, you have to list all of the topics that you actually have to catch up on and do these topics one by one. The reason I'm saying you have to be realistic with the goals is essentially because if you are not realistic, then you're just going to procrastinate the whole way through and get really overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that you have to do. And if you set yourself too much work, you're just going to be overwhelmed by the work. And also that is why you have to put a lot of detail into what you write. If your goals are vague, then your mind will be overwhelmed by the volume of work that you have to do. And in your mind, you will think that, oh my gosh, it is so much work. But actually, in reality, it really isn't. So you have to write out every single step of the way so that your brain rationally realizes that maybe it's not too much. It's actually fine. And if it is too much, then you should cut some stuff down, because you shouldn't be doing 8 hours of studying every single day for the entire Easter holidays, for example. Even if you have exams coming up, you're just gonna get burnt out, you know? The second rule that I try to follow is allowing myself to relax the first couple of days or weeks when I'm back. That's the thing, a lot of people don't realize that holidays, similarly to weekends, the main and primary reason for these is to actually relax, and it's not to catch up on the work that you're doing. But there should also be a balance to all of this, and don't leave everything until the last minute, because then you're realizing that you're coming back to school in 3 days and you still have to finish so much stuff, and you just won't have the time to finish it all, or the energy, or the emotional resources. Rule number 3. Identify the time when you're most productive and stick to that. For me, that is 100% in the morning, and I've identified that quite a long time ago. It's just I find it quite difficult to wake up in the morning, which is kind of ironic. I'm most productive up until 11 or 12 in the morning, but then I also find it hard to wake up earlier. But the way that I deal with it is that I wake up at 7:30 or 8, and my wake up time is completely independent of when I go to sleep. I can go to sleep at 3 for all I care, but I'm still gonna wake up at 8. And what that does is that stops me from messing up my sleep schedule. And if I do have to go to sleep at 1 or 2 because I don't know, we had a family dinner and I ended up sleeping really late, I'll just nap in the evening or in the afternoon. That won't make me super tired, but at least that won't mess up my sleep schedule, if you get what I mean. The morning works perfectly well because the house is quiet. Everyone is asleep or sleepy or trying to wake up, and nothing is happening. Nothing fun is happening in my house. I'm actually not missing anything by working a little bit in the morning. So I don't know, I'm not telling you that you should work in the morning. I know some people work way better in the evening or at night. So just figure out when you work best and plan your day around that time. Rule number 4. Don't plan out every single thing you're going to do every day, as you might feel guilty if you don't manage to complete your daily tasks. What I mean by that is that when you say, okay, so tomorrow is Monday, I'm gonna start working through my to-do list that you've planned from rule 1. You're just okay, so tomorrow I'm gonna finish my biology notes on immunity, I'm gonna finish this physics worksheet I have to do, and write 1,000 words for EPQ. These are really concrete goals to set for one day, and I have quite a big problem with this, because essentially if you don't manage to meet these goals, you'll just be so discouraged for working at all. And even after you may have done 3 or 4 hours of work, you will still feel like you haven't done enough because you haven't completed your goals. But when you were setting these goals, you didn't assess how long each one will take. So maybe in reality they would take 7 hours, but you only spent 4. So of course you didn't manage to finish all of it, but you will feel guilty that you haven't, even though you've actually done 4 hours of focused work. The demotivation might make you less likely to work better the next day, because you're gonna be like, oh, well, I worked for 4 hours and I still haven't done everything I wanted to do. What was the point anyways? So instead, I would just plan out the time period when you're gonna work. So for example, for me that's 9 till 12. Try and set goals that are more vague. That is the complete opposite of rule 1. So with the to-do list for the entire Easter, I think you need to be as detailed as you can just to get rid of this emotional feeling that you have so much to do. But with your daily to-dos, you can be vague. Or I don't set goals at all. I'm just like, okay, I work 9 till 12, and in the morning I sit down at my table at 9 and I'm just like, okay, so what do I feel like doing today? And I do that. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna get everything done anyways, but I'm not gonna get overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that I have to do. Also, a really cool thing that I found is use your phone to film yourself while you're studying, and that just helps with distractions so much. Like, first of all, you film yourself, right? And you can watch back and you're just like, oh my god, I'm so studious, that's crazy, I'm so productive. And you're not using your phone while you are doing that. And I just find that it works really well. It's like every single time someone messages me and I'm just like, well, I can't reply, I'm filming, right? That works pretty cool. The rule number 5 that I follow is do the things that you really don't want to do and that are weighing down on you the most first. For me, that is 100% my EPQ, because I just really don't feel like doing it. But basically just do the things that you hate doing the most first, because then you're just gonna be like, you're less likely to procrastinate because you've done your hardest things first. I don't have any advice on how to get yourself to do it. Like, literally my advice is to just sit down and do it. Like, there's no secret weapon to doing the things you don't want to do. Like, you just have to force yourself to be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this and I can do whatever I want after. And the last rule number 6, is don't overwork yourself and don't say no to other fun activities during Easter because you feel like you haven't done enough work. And I felt myself that way sometimes. My nephew would come into my room and he would be like, oh,
so do you want to go for a walk with us?
And I'll be like,
well, I'm actually doing my UCAT practice questions right now, so like I can't.
I very rarely go on walks with them, so why am I saying no to walk just because I feel like I haven't done enough UCAT practice? I can always just come back and do it later or do it another day, but I know that the quality time with my nephew will be good for me and for him, and I shouldn't say no to fun stuff that I want to do. Or like, me and my friends are going to Thorpe Park this Tuesday. I actually was like, oh well, yeah, but that's taking away an entire day of work. And then as soon as I thought that, I was just like, Juliana, what are you thinking? Why are you thinking like this? This is not healthy. So it's just the key is to remember that the holidays and the weekends are here for you to relax. And if you don't relax now, imagine how burnt out and how tired you're gonna be for the next 5 or 6 weeks of school. You really have to find the balance between catching up on some of the work, but also relaxing. You shouldn't feel bad about spending the whole day in bed. So yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope you found it useful. Go check out my day in a life that I posted, which was the last video, and you can see that I barely do any work there. Like, that is my first week back, so you can see that I'm not spending my entire day on Instagram. I will see you in the next video. You can follow my Instagram if you want, even though I don't really post anything on there, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. So yeah, I'm gonna go and enjoy some time with my family. My sister's back home, so I can spend time with her. So yeah, bye bye. I love filming YouTube videos.